Hello, this is Lisa Hazard and Misty Lure, and we are all psychic. We're all psychic. This is the show. We're all psychic. We have a guest today, a very special guest named Joni. And Joni, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Joni.
As Joni. Joni, we have a question for you. Do you think we're all psychic?
I do. I
You do.
definitely think that we're all psychic.
Oh, yes. Please tell us about those thoughts.
I feel that we all are more psychic the more that we connect to ourselves, the more we connect to learning. For me, my journey has been, and I don't think it's the same for everybody. My journey has been getting to know myself and what makes me tick and learning more. I don't think everybody has to go that route. For me and the person that I am, I like to know why I act the way that I act when certain things come up and why certain things have affected me the way that they have, but also help me grow into the person that I am.
Love it.
Awesome,
Love
man.
it.
That's why I do this. Like I've pursued any of this energy stuff. Like I
Right?
want to find out what's up with me. What's going on here? What's up with this body? What's up with this head? That's great. That's a great answer.
Why am I here?
Joni is also a fellow reader, advice giver on the Everclear app, who is our sponsor, Everclear. She is an advisor there under the name Yaya.
Yaya J. That's me.
Yaya J.
I love it.
She is here to talk to us today to all you listeners about, well, yoga and more. She's a yoga instructor, and if you could see on Zoom, she has this absolutely amazing setup. I can't stop staring at it. You should see it. I'll let you just imagine it. It won't be as good as what it actually is, but you can try. So, Joni, tell us about how you got started with yoga and what was the journey there.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I took my first yoga class in my first year of college, and I remember thinking to myself, like a lot of people, when I hear their first story about their first yoga class, it's not good. Mine was amazing. I got into it, and it was a teacher. It was a kinesthetics class, so it wasn't like a gym style class or a studio style class. It was more meant for educational purposes, and it was very welcoming and inviting, and I felt connected to other people in a way that I had never felt before, because everybody was in the class. Everybody had to pay for the class, and everybody wanted to participate. So it was a really beautiful experience. And I knew kind of from my first class that I wanted to share that with others.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're like me. I had a great first yoga experience too. That does make all the difference. It's not the gym. It's not the gym yoga. Right?
Yeah, I've never had one like that. I've always done the gym yoga. So I need to do something.
Yeah.
It can definitely be different. I've taught for gyms before, and I've taught for studios, and then I've taught for myself. And I think it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, that it's really like how you click with somebody. And I think everybody clicks different ways. And I like really hardcore yoga too. But I think that you have to build yourself up to that. My big thing is all about breath, and you have to breathe in every pose. Like asana actually means comfortable seat. So every pose you get in, you're supposed to kind of be comfortable. And so I will have people laugh at me when I say that. But
I understand what you mean, though. You kind of just like sink into it, and you're just like there, or whatever the pose might be. You just kind of like
you become the pose.
Into it. I don't know. Yeah. One of my favorite poses that I learned was the warrior pose, where you have, and I kind of would feel like I was in a pane of, like in between two panes of glass, and they were holding me up, and it was like I wasn't even standing. I was like just stuck between these two panes of glass. Kind of how I pictured it when the first time I did it, and felt that sinking into it feeling. You know what I'm talking about?
It's a beautiful feeling. It's absolutely amazing. And then you just learn how to, utilize your muscles to really maximize your energy and work with it instead of trying to fight against it, which is what happens a lot. And, specific kinds of, we're trying to keep up with everybody, or we're trying to keep up with the teacher, and it's going too fast, and we get worried. And so we frustrate ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
And everybody loves to do a downward dog in front of everybody else, That's always a lot of fun. Jim, I know. But tell us about your technique. Like, if you were to offer us a yoga session right now, what would it be like?
Well, my techniques usually go somewhere between the It depends. So my technique's definitely different for everybody. And I kind of go through a few beginning stretches so I can kind of see where a person might have some limitations or flexibility problems or even just posture problems, because a big part of it is also just the posture. And
yes, that's me. Right? Yeah, that's me.
This instead of and hunched over, and our shoulders are forward, and we're typing on computers, and we're looking down at our phones. And so that's like one of the main beginner things, the beginner things that I look at. And that's one of the first things that I start with. So like when it's a private session that I'm doing with somebody, that's the first thing that I do. So it builds up from there. But if it's like a group class, I try to include everybody and kind of start with traditional sun salutations and then kind of see where everybody in the class is and then build from there depending on, their limitations on where I'm going to go in the class. Like if I'm going to be doing warrior twos or if I'm going to be doing some more down dogs and child's poses instead.
Okay, so you kind of cater it to that person's energies, the people you're working with. So if you have classes, how do you adapt for all the individuals who are in there? Because right now you said you're doing some small classes. We're in this outside area you have.
Yeah, so I have very small group classes now. And when I do bigger classes, that's kind of what I try to do is kind of like see everybody. And if I see one person can't get down to their knees very well, or if one person can't fold over very well. For instance, if somebody can't reach over and touch their toes, coming from a down dog position and stepping forward with a foot, it's going to be a challenge, like more of a challenge for them. So either I'm going to make sure that we have block and I'm going to talk to them about hiking their leg forward, or I might just start in mountain pose and step back instead, because that will make it more available for everybody. And so everybody can kind of feel included, especially if there's beginners in the class, because I really try to make it to where people feel comfortable, because I worry about people having that first bad experience and want to do yoga again.
Yeah. That sounds delightful. I so want to come. We're going to New Orleans, Misty. We're going to New Orleans.
I'm ready.
By the way, audience, Joni's in New Orleans, and there's nothing wrong with going to New Orleans ever.
No, I love New Orleans. Yes.
Never a wrong time to go to New Orleans.
It's fun.
World. So with yoga, and you had mentioned this in the beginning, like when bringing the energy into the body and releasing, like explain that more. Like how does that work for you, and how do you teach it to your?
Well, very good. So with energy work and with the things that I've learned, because I started doing my readings after I got my studio, I had always been attracted to runes and astrology and card readings about 6 years ago, and really started diving into that and found just so much love in how guidance could be given, right? And I had already felt guidance from the body in the sense of, I believe that whenever I have problems with my stability and I can't balance, that there's probably some stuff going on in my root chakra, and I need to maybe figure out, and it's not like I always figure things out because I'm still human, and a lot of times to be able to take the time to figure things out is easier said than done, right?
Especially when it comes to the root chakra.
Very, very true. I've been working on that one a good bit more lately, since everything's been throwing me for a loop. My studio closed down last year and I had to completely change everything around. But that's also how the energy of yoga has helped me, because I've had people come to my new space that I had to build and completely change everything. And they're like, wow, Joni, I can't believe that you just you closed down your studio and within a month you already had a new space. You were already working in your new space. And I'm like, you gotta deal with what life has given you. I mean, you can't, I'm not going to crawl into a hole for too long or try not to, but I'm going to actually try to flourish with what I've been given. And I'm going to always try to do that. So I feel like yoga's kind of always been a part of my life, energetic wise, not just posture wise, because from a young age, I always tried to be positive and tried to make do with what I had.
You did well.
I would imagine. I would imagine too that you were bored, and you needed to keep yourself busy. You know what I mean?
To move your yoga instructor, you want to move.
Yeah. So that gave you a purpose too.
Oh, I've always got lots of energy. Too much most of the time. We talk about all those hands in the pot. Yeah, I know how that goes.
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes.
You mentioned the breathing, the prana. That's what I learned a lot about in yoga was prana. Do you teach that to your students about the breathing, the prana? Can you tell the listeners about that? Because I did a really rudimentary explanation of it in another podcast, but I'm sure you can do a great job with that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I can do I can actually like do a little demonstration for one, and I can explain it too. When you go to the doctor's office and they put the stethoscope on the back and the front and they're like, take a deep breath. I'm always asking the doctor, do you really want me to take a deep breath? Because my deep breath will last like a minute. So
my heart really stops beating, Doc.
Very slow deep breath.
I love it.
And, there's belief in the form of prana that the longer breath that you have, you're actually extending your life. The shorter breaths that we take, we're using up our energy, we're using up our life force. And so if we are allowing ourselves to find a little bit more calm through the chaos, then we're giving ourselves longer lives and giving ourselves the ability to, be a little less stressed, which in turn leads to all kinds of better health benefits.
Oh gosh, yes.
When you think about the body's really neat with the lungs, because we breathe in and we breathe out, and our ribs actually they pull apart from each other and they knit back together whenever we breathe. So if we are sitting tall and taking a deep breath in and out through our nose, because that's also one of the processes of breathing. There are some techniques of pranayama where you breathe out through your mouth or you breathe with kind of breath, but it's all different. Yeah, most of my classes, I go with traditional of just trying to breathe in on a 4 count, trying to hold in for a 2 count, breathing out for a 2 count, a 4 count, and then holding that out for a 2 count. So it's this 4-part breath of learning how to, because when you're laying down and sleeping at night, that's what happens. Like you see your belly rise and fall, and you hear somebody breathe, and it's nice and fluid, and you will hear a pause after the inhale and exhale, because that's natural for us when we're in a relaxed state.
Oh, wow.
That's what I was doing. Y'all want to take a deep breath with me?
Yes, I am already doing it. Didn't you notice? I was like, I can't blow out into my microphone. I was like, I wanted to, because you were doing it, and I was like, I'm getting in. I was just finding myself sitting straight, and yes, let's do it.
I know. Awesome. I know.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. All right, so I typically will say to try to get comfortable. Make sure you're able to sit with your shoulders aligned over your shoulders aligned over your hips. And then here's the big one, the ears over the shoulders, because most of us actually have our shoulders far jutted forward because our heads are jutted forward because we're just used to that. So really taking the back of the head and pushing it back, reaching the crown of the head up. And then as we inhale on the count of 4 through the nose. We hold for 2. Exhale on the count of 4. Hold for 2. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And you continue on that cycle. And you allow yourself.
Yeah, I was feeling good.
I was there, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It didn't take long, did it, Lisa?
Oh man. I breathe really shallowly. I just have this habit of breathing really like quietly and shallow breaths. Yeah, I don't know why.
A lot of people do. Thoracic breathing is like it's the most common breath because we're just not used to it, and we're always rushing in this world that we live in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That was
and we
lovely.
Get nervous.
Thank you so much.
Stuff.
I mean when you get nervous, that's a really good point, Misty. When you get nervous, if you can recall that breathing stuff, that really helps with being nervous too. That's a great example.
Very true. Yes, y'all can sign in and do a couple deep breaths before your podcast. And you can say, thank you, Joni. You reminded us we need to do this.
Yeah, we'll pull up the audio.
We do.
Okay, we'll clip that audio and just play it before every podcast. Yeah.
Hey, I'm up. I'm up for it.
Well, I just feel so
I'm
peaceful.
sitting
I have no
better
questions.
Already.
Yeah, Missy. Oh, I love it. Very good.
I feel great too. Misty, do you have any questions right now? Because I feel so relaxed that I can't think of it.
Yes. Okay, so how do you intertwine with your yoga and the card readings? Like, how do you put both of those into your readings?
Oh, very good question. Sometimes I would have people pull a card before class, and that's always really neat. Because sometimes it'll be oracle cards or it'll be a traditional tarot deck. And then sometimes when I'm doing Reiki sessions, I'll do a whole reading before I do a Reiki session. which will kind of give insight into what the person might need to work on energetically to pull in. So I really like that. And most of the time before an actual like physical class, I'll do like a little reading from, typically it's like 3 different oracle decks, and I use one because it's a surrender oracle deck, and then I do another one that's called a journey oracle deck, and then another one that's an activation yoga oracle deck. And so I'll pull a card from each of those just to bring in a guided message for the class. Because at the beginning of a lot of classes, you'll hear people do little talks, or like last night, it was all about trust, and I was talking about the oracle card that I pulled was surrender to your ability to trust that you are guided and you are supported, and it could not have been more spot on for me and for some of the people in the class. It hit everybody the same way, but it's really neat.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's
kind
awesome.
Of yoga. I'm serious about driving to New Orleans. I'm getting more and more serious about it.
Y'all can come down and visit me. Y'all could come do a class with just me.
I know.
We could take a road trip, Misty. Sometime maybe we can do it. Maybe
that would be
after
so
school's
fun.
Out. After school's out, we can.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. I have friends in New Orleans.
We can do it.
I would love seeing anyway.
Well,
so.
I love the fact that you do intertwine both, because I really think that they're both kind of made for each other. And a lot of people don't realize that, they think, well, yoga's exercise and it does me good. But you know what? It's so much more than that. And you bring it in with the cards, and, it's so funny the way you said that you did that reading from different decks, because I did that to Lisa on a reading one time, and she was like, I've never seen that done.
Well, no, I have seen
it just
done,
came natural.
Misty was just learning tarot, and she just naturally didn't have any restrictions on herself. She didn't put them on herself, like you have to use this deck and you have to. She didn't do that. She just intuitively, gathered different cards from different decks that she had. And perfect reading. I mean, it was like, she's got it naturally. So yeah. I think everybody does, though. It's just a little guidance. Maybe it helps a lot to have guidance to get rid of that self-doubt.
Yeah,
and I bet. And also with yoga, a lot of people have never done it before, especially or just starting out. They have a lot of insecurities about not doing it right.
Very true.
You're supposed to do it right. If you don't do it right, you won't. It doesn't work. But that's a mindset,
right.
And I'm sure, like, if I walked into that area, I would just be like, I don't mind if I don't do it right. I think it's just gonna be okay right here. It's like where you are and your energy and everything. I would feel comfortable. I would feel really comfortable with that. And that's just a great setting.
I would too.
It makes a big difference when
I might start that at home.
Yeah, I'm guiding on your YouTube. Oh, by the way, what is the name of your YouTube channel? She had told us that she has a YouTube channel.
Tune in, yeah.
Yes, I want to know.
Yeah. Yes, I'll put that in the description for you guys so you can check out.
That's so funny. I love it. My
so
grandson
excited.
calls me Yaya.
I'm gonna be a ya. I already knew I was gonna be a Yaya a long time ago. It's actually the Greek word for grandma, and I'm a big Greek mythology and all.
Yeah, that's why I'm Yaya. Yes.
I thought of the Yaya sisterhood.
Yes, that's why I love that too. Yeah.
It's a very cool
I was like, I'm not going to be grandma. I'm not going to be called grandma.
I don't know that I mind that so much. It's just Yaya sounds so wise.
Yaya does sound wise. It sounds like a simple but deep wisdom. It's like both. It's fun too, because it's fun to say.
Yeah,
and it's fun when you hear that little voice, that little 3-year-old voice that says, yeah. I love it. It's so sweet.
And not only can they go to your YouTube channel to find out how you instruct yoga and things that you can do. Just listening to the podcast, what would you advise people who don't know about yoga? What would you advise them to learn or find out or, experiment for themselves at home other than your channel?
Good question. I would, my biggest thing would say, learn to sit still and breathe. Because really, I actually had somebody ask me one time, and I like that you said something kind of about that a while ago. And I don't know if it was you, Misty, or you, Lizzie. Lizzie. I'm gonna put your Z's of your last name in your first name. But that is one of the biggest things that you can learn to do is be able to sit still. So somebody in class asked me once, if I just sit in child's pose the whole time in a class, is that still considered yoga? And I'm like, and you're going to hear different things from different people, right? You're going to hear different things because we all have a different mentality about what things are. But I said, well, 100% yes. If that's where you're comfortable and you're sitting there and you're breathing. Now, if you fall asleep, that's okay. It's not necessarily yoga anymore if you're not actually alert and aware. But I mean, it's still, if that actually gets you to sleep, then, that's okay. But be mindful that that's you want to sit still, learn to breathe deeply, and be aware of your surroundings. And that's where the energy comes in. You connect with the energy around you. And
yes,
it's a beautiful thing when you can do that.
That's a great way to describe it. That's really wonderful.
It is. And that's the problem that I have is like, I have no quiet time. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. We've got, kids running around the house and, all these things that we have to do. And there's nowhere where I can have peace for just a few minutes. I need to learn to figure that out and find a way to do that.
What's interesting is that technique you're talking about. I have a hard time sitting still, so I'm trying really hard right now too. Because when you talk, like as you're really, I can tell you're a good instructor because as you tell things, like I want to do them. I don't feel like I have to or anything. I just like as you said that to sit still, and I just felt like doing that. I felt like it. You make me want to try it, and I need to calm my mind and slow down and absorb my environment more instead of just shutting it out and being up in my head. And that does connect me to other people. And also it's a kind of a way to take a time out from everybody. If you're around people, you can close your eyes. And like what you just said, you can do that and, breathe and slow yourself down and just listen to all the chaos and don't be a part of it,
Yes, exactly.
Walk it out.
And that's a good experience because it helps you practice for whenever you're being almost what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, I can't think of the word.
Demolished?
Of course that will happen.
Smashed in the face, bar fight.
Pushed to the edge. Yeah.
Pushed to the edge. Like when you're being called, you're being beckoned to be part of the chaos. And it's a good experience. And I was actually saying that earlier when I had a session with somebody and I was telling her, I was like, whenever you're going to have that devil's going to be here 20 years from now. So even though you've practiced on setting your boundaries and you've practiced on not being alert and being not active, it's still going to happen from time to time. So you just got to allow yourself to be human and it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to
That's
be
good advice.
Thank
yes.
Because I don't feel like I'm human half the time. And when I am, it's like my body. And like, it's funny because the podcast we had yesterday with, we had a podcast yesterday with a dear friend of mine in Serbia. She talked about the physical, always, working on your physical body, really helping with the energy. So it's really great to talk about this today. And it's a message to me. I need to start working on my body more and moving more. I've got like a foot right now. I can move other things, like she said. I can move and breathe. Even just holding the breath and doing the breathing. You've just reminded me of so much that I have like left like in the back seat. In this podcast. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
And do you have any other last advice for the listeners or anything? You want to tell them where they can find you?
Oh, like my website or
everything, anywhere you would like them to find you.
Oh boy. Well, so I guess my last advice would be that if you do try something that you would consider yoga and it doesn't work, try something else. And then try something else. There's got to be some kind of, because I think yoga is in anything that we do. It's not necessarily the postures, but it's more of the mindset. It's more of paying attention to our energy and our bodies and what's going on in our bodies and how we can maybe try to heal some of the things that are going on in our bodies. And then, and as you continue to do that, you'll find some peace, I hope, because that's what I want for everybody, is to find something that does something for them, that is good for them, and that helps them to find healing and peace and harmony. Because I really think that's what we're all meant to be here to do.
I agree.
So that would be my last advice. To find me, the Tune In Yaya on YouTube, my website is www.yayaforyoga.com. And so that's got basically all of my other information.
And she's on Everclear Advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths. And she is Yaya J. I got it. Oh, I remember something. So Yaya J. And I highly recommend her. And I recommend anyone on Everclear, actually, because everybody I've talked to has been incredible.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And Misty, do you have any last words for the listeners?
I'm just ready. Like, I'm ready to get off the phone
Me
and
too.
look up this site and do
I'm
this,
so
like, right
inspired.
now.
Me too.
So I gotta
I
go,
love
guys.
We might do
I
that
gotta go.
together. Like, get back on Zoom and put our YouTube on, and yeah, we might.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Joni. It's been
Thank you.
wonderful to meet you, and listeners, thank you so much for listening. And I'll put the descriptions to where they can meet you and your Everclear number in there. So if they want to like go ahead and have a direct call with you, they can when you're logged in. And like I said before, thank you, listeners, and thank you, Joni. Thank you, Misty.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.